There's no way he gets past his school.
I mean, if he gets past the Steelers, he's the second round.
In all honesty, if you're the Lions, Goff's not gonna last forever.
Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, podium, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, 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 1, 2, 3.
I kept
All right.
waiting for the email to come through, and there was not. And
He's looking for a succession plan as well.
Over on the side, 1, 2, 3. Check, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
She sent me something.
Next mic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, 1, 2.
Made light of it.
No, he's not lying to saying success. So, yes. Same thing with the boy in Jacksonville. I thought Howard Lawrence.
We'll see what she does.
Second year.
Up on the dais, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Testing.
Bo Nix is in a much better system and a much better coach than Trevor Lawrence.
Next mic, 1, 2, 3. Check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Sean Payton knows how to tailor games to his defense.
I wish we were going home to watch Duke play tonight, but we're not.
Next mic, 1, 2, 3. Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Test.
I think they're saying that they're not sure if Cam or Sugar said that they would have been
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
that may not be, they certainly wouldn't have
Next mic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, 1, 2.
Penix next, right?
Last mic on the dais, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But Cam Ward is clearly not. I just don't know what the Giants.
Well, honestly, I don't think he's gonna be successful in that system.
No, what you talk about, either you do or you don't.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're good. Check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
First year, second year quarterback,
He wasn't on.
6'4" or higher.
Well, I don't think.
Athlete, wow.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to bring this meeting to order for April the 7th, 2025. I need a motion for us to enter closed session for the reasons so stated on the agenda.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, we will move to closed session. Thank you.
Thank you. Clear, you're absolutely right.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this session of the April 7th Board of Orange County Education to order. We are back in open session right now, and we will start with the public charge that I will read. And we do welcome everyone here tonight and glad to see you. The Orange County Board of Education pledges to its citizens to conduct its business in a courteous and productive manner, showing respect for fellow board members, staff, and citizens. The board asks its citizens to conduct themselves with the same courtesy toward both school personnel and each other. A moment of silence will be observed before each meeting. In addition to the moment of silence, the board will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. The board asks that you check your cell phones and other electronic devices to be certain that they are either turned off or on vibrate to avoid interruption of the meeting. And now I would ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we will now observe a moment of silence. Okay, thank you all. All right, tonight we have several recognitions, two recognitions actually, and we will start with Autism Awareness Month. And Ms. Stacy Burns, our Executive Director of our Exceptional Children's Program, is here for that. So welcome, Ms. Burns.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Jones, and our community, both in person and on Zoom. April is Autism Awareness Month, and it's a time to recognize, celebrate, and uplift the voices of individuals with autism and those who support them. Autism is not a limitation, it is a unique way of experiencing and interacting with the world. It is a spectrum rich with diverse strengths, talents, perspectives that enrich our schools, our families, and our communities. Tonight, we honor our students with autism, their resilience, their brilliance, and their contributions. We acknowledge the parents and caregivers who advocate tirelessly, ensuring that their children are seen, heard, and supported. We commend our educators and staff who create learning opportunities where every child has the opportunity to thrive. And we appreciate our community for fostering acceptance, understanding, and belonging. But awareness alone is not enough. Supporting individuals with autism means breaking down barriers, challenging misconceptions, and making sure that every child has the access to the tools, resources, and opportunities they need to succeed. It means embracing the beauty of neurodiversity and seeing ability before disability. It means standing together, not just in April, but every day, to ensure that individuals with autism are just not accommodated, but celebrated. Let's take this moment to reaffirm our commitment to compassion, understanding, and excellence in education. Because when we create a world where every individual is valued for who they are, we don't just change their lives, we enrich ours. Thank you for this dedication to this mission, and may we continue to move forward in unity, understanding, and love. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Byrne. Okay, our second recognition is National Assistant Principal Week, which is April 7th through the 11th. And we have Mr. Kevin Smith, our Chief Information Officer, to talk about that.
Thank you so
Welcome.
much, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board, Dr. Jones, everyone gathered here and listening online. It's an honor to ask everyone to join us in also joining the National Association of Elementary School Principals and the National Association of Secondary School Principals in recognizing truly the unsung heroes of our public schools, our assistant principals who are counted on to contribute to school-wide success every day. National AP Week is an annual celebration that takes place during the first full week of April, as you see here on the slide, and its purpose is to recognize the impact that assistant principals have in our local public schools. Anyone who knows anything about our schools knows that a school, any organization, is going to rise and can rise no farther than the level of its leadership. And that's part of why assistant principals play such a crucial and critical role in ensuring that each and every student and staff member in our schools feels truly safe, seen, and supported. From creating a positive environment to help promote the academic success of every student, to furthering the efforts of principals and fellow educators as they serve students every day. We always invite feedback from the people who are being recognized, and Ms. Fournier shared words with us last year that we also were happy to share them again this year. This is one of the best ways to state what an assistant principal does and how they see their role in the school. The role of the assistant principal is really in the name. We assist with pretty much everything. We work as a team to handle the daily operations of the school: student discipline, behavior support, family communication, scheduling, transportation, safety drills, IEP and 504 compliance, field trips, district and state testing, and lots of other things that I am sure I am forgetting. One aspect of the role that many might not realize is that assistant principals also are instructional leaders who work to implement the principal's vision for teaching and learning at the school. We need to be able to support a variety of content areas by understanding the standards, effective teaching practices, how to differentiate and tier instruction for every student, and how to measure and monitor progress. We serve as teammates for teachers on PLCs, or professional learning communities, or collaborative teams. We serve as instructional coaches and teacher evaluators, both formally and informally. You basically end up with the definition of a school. The assistant principal really carries the school with them. They're there to serve every person who's in the building. And for that reason, we're proud to honor these APs who you see pictured here, and we ask everyone to join us in celebrating them, whether you use the hashtag of your choice, we welcome you to choose, or just share a few words of gratitude when you see them in our schools, because you will, because they're all over the place, all day, every day. Thank you very much for letting us recognize them with you.
Thank you very much for recognizing them. It is a tiresome job, but it is a very fulfilling job, and we appreciate our assistant principals. Okay, I need a motion to adopt our agenda.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, agenda is adopted. And now we're going to move into our local budget hearing. And Ms. Rhonda Rath is coming forward, and after she does her presentation, we will have speakers if anyone is here and would like to speak to the budget, and then we will move on from that. So welcome, Ms. Rath.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Purcell, Vice Chair Richmond, board members, Dr. Jones, and everyone listening and present. This evening, I am here. As you recall, last board meeting on March 24th, we had a pretty in-depth discussion surrounding the budget. So this evening, I'm not going to hit as much as I did last week. So let's begin with our budget priorities, which continue to be to recruit and retain a high-quality staff, student proficiency and growth, and ensuring that we allocate our resources to best meet the needs of all of our students. Average daily membership drives funding that we receive both from the local government as well as the state, as well as from federal resources. As you can see here, our ADM is pretty flat and is projected to continue to be that way. Next year, we're projected to have 6,908 students, which is based upon our actual number that appeared this year. Is the best month 1 or 2, the best of the first 20 days, or the best of the first 40 days. and that is what they changed the guidance to be, how we would be funded. So 6,908 is that number that we will receive funding on. Charter schools, we are funded based upon what that actual number is, and right now it is 1,125. Our local operating continuation budget, as presented here, would require an additional $1.8 million. This would be to fund a 3% salary increase that we are projecting is what our legislators may come in with. Right now, we do not know, but based upon what we do know, looking at trends, we are basing that on 3%. That also includes a retirement increase and a health insurance increase, as well as an increase in those non-salary related items, which are your utility costs, fuel, all of those things that we are continuing to see increases in. To fund those, again, that would be an additional $1.8 million to continue operations as they currently are. The expansion initiatives that are presented for approval would be an increase to our certified teacher supplements, as well as an increase to our classified supplements for those in the lowest band, as well as an increase to our bus driver hourly pay, as we presented in greater detail at our last meeting. That would total an additional $2.3 million. And so the items that have been presented in this budget in totality would be an anticipated $4.1 million that we would be requesting from our commissioners to fund. And just in conclusion, this is a look again at our fund balance. We will not know what that final number is until we have finalized our audit for the fiscal year that ends on June the 30th of 2025. We are projecting that we will, based upon the way things are going at this time, be able to put some money back into fund balance. Our goal is to get to the single line there of 5.5 million. That is 10 to 12% of our local operating budget to have as cash flow to basically just to be able to have the funds there when other funds are delayed in being released to the district. I thank you for your support in developing a sound budget that focuses on the students of Orange County Schools. And now we will take any comments surrounding this budget.
Does anyone here have any comments that they'd like to make around our proposed budget tonight?
Hello, I'm Rachel Phelps Hawkins. It's nice to see all of y'all. I just wanted to say thank you for your past attention to giving raises to this administrative staff and the classified staff. And all I wanted to say was, can we afford to fix our schools before we pay our teachers? Our teachers deserve raises, and no telling what's going to happen with the federal and state budget this year. So I would hope you would consider our teachers first. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity just to share some thoughts about the budget, the proposed budget. And one of the things that I saw, by the way, I'm Guyon Chambliss, and just wanted to share some thoughts about the budget that I'm not sure, as you review, might be considered or even still thought about. When we look at some of our most vulnerable youth, we need teachers to be able to support them. That's the oxygen mask. Because if the teachers aren't paid and aren't supported, thank you to those staff that are supporting the teachers and creating that culture. But we also know that our students are struggling. And we see this particularly in those students who become involved in the juvenile justice system. And I wanted to share some stats with you this evening on what that looks like. 8% of our Orange County youth who are DJJ involved, that's higher than the state average, have inadequate supervision. 7%, higher than the state again, have no interest in school activities. Excuse me. 10%, which is again higher than the state, have already initiated alcohol and or other substance use. 4%, which starts before age 12. These are Orange County students. 12%, again, these are all higher than the state, have disruption in their function due to use. 15% have not been able to enter any previous drug treatment. 16% have negative or delinquent peer associations. 25% have 5 or more unexcused absences. 22% are failing most of their classes. We see this with our DJJ-involved youth, and in Orange County, we do everything possible to try and have programs in place and divert them. But what we are wondering is what is perhaps at the school-based level that could be done for earlier interventions so that these students can have their mental health and emotional social well-being supported so that they can thrive academically and not become at risk for other behavioral issues or worse, school dropout rates. And I know that you all are invested, and I thank you for the budget to help support the teachers, the staff across the whole school system, and the students so that they can learn academically. But if we don't help them and support them in their mental health and social emotional well-being, we may be losing them. So I just wanted to share some of that food for thought. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Carrie Hamble, and I echo Ms. Chambliss's remarks and also ask that there be additional and ongoing attention to children with disabilities with school-facing staff. And thank you to all the school-facing staff. They're wonderful. My public comments are a bit dry, but it does keep the schools funded. I have a handful of requests, and I've numbered them. One, that the finance and capital meetings moving forth immediately be recorded and posted by noon the following day. Presently, they are not recorded, and often I'm the only person there. Materials in particular, much more detailed financial records, the numbers, be attached to the Finance and Capital Committee agenda in advance of the meeting. 3, at an unrecorded Finance and Capital meeting earlier this year, I was befuddled by the number shared of the amount of capital funds unused to date in Orange County schools. Put modestly, it was millions and millions and millions of dollars, more than what I could have only guessed at, because I can only guess because the quality of information has been so poor. Notably, my impression only was there was confusion among the board members also in attendance. These meetings need to be recorded and the materials much more deeper. 4, as another sunshine is the best disinfectant, not a quote from me, I respectfully ask that approved committee meetings become reunified with the agenda and materials for public-friendly accountability and oversight. Simply adding a column with approved minutes lets a reader who can't attend know what happened from beginning to end and perhaps point out mistakes. 5, I ask that the annual environmental report given earlier this year be repeated before the end of the school year with quality information on mold, cancerous particles, repair updates, and prevention measures being taken. I recognize the superintendent has taken action, and I appreciate that. The public-facing report would be much appreciated and could very well be in the works. last but not least, in summary, I, for one, as a regular attendee at public meetings, am dissatisfied with the level of accountability required in Orange County schools and Chapel Hill Carrboro schools of local and other funds being spent. Many, many more measures are needed to ensure monies are well spent for children education and the wonderful school-facing staff who do so much every day. Thank you for having public comment today.
Thank you. Anyone else like to come forward for public comment?
All right, good evening. I'm Melanie Lasky. I'm a parent of 2 teenagers over at Orange High School. I'm also an employee over at Orange High School, and I am a North Carolina certified alcohol and drug counselor. I've had the privilege of working with the ADAPT Club over at Orange as their club leader, and also collaborating with Orange Partnership around the Orange High School Substance Use Intervention and Prevention Pilot Program that pretty much launched this November, just a few months ago. This program was student-driven. The students voiced the need, and they were heard. When looking at the budget, we just hope that you consider remedies around substance use and mental health so that we don't continue to lose students academically in both the short term and long term. For example, the implementation of a district-wide substance use prevention and intervention program. As we know, these programs have been successful in other districts within North Carolina and other states across the country. It's been really exciting to see the success that we've had with the pilot program over at Orange High School, and we'd love to see it expand. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Hello, my name is Vidya Kasturi. I'm a senior at Orange High School and a lead intern with Orange Partnership's ADAPT program, working towards the goal of substance use prevention among youth. As a student, I've observed many instances of the lack of support felt by students regarding this issue from adults and staff members. Many students, either at risk for or are currently suffering from substance use disorders, have expressed that they would like to see more support from staff and policymakers. Many students misusing substances have expressed that they want to quit, but don't feel comfortable expressing themselves with staff or seeking help or any form of treatment. A lot of them are kind of falling into this cycle of relapsing whenever they try to quit because they have not been able to seek any help from adults nearby, or they are not aware of the resources they have in place within schools. They are also kind of worried about the bounds of student and staff confidentiality, and so this is kind of another issue that we're seeing for why students are kind of hesitant to seek out help from staff members. And so as a result of this, and all the students that we've been speaking to as interns, myself and other interns advocated last year to administration at our school for the creation of a treatment and intervention program within Orange High School. This program has now been created as of this fall, as Ms. Lasky was mentioning. It gives the staff members and parents the opportunity to refer students for treatment, intervention, and education, and also gives students the opportunity to self-refer to this program to seek out counseling and help from administration. And since the beginning of this year, and honestly just since November, we've seen a dramatic increase in the help that we've been able to give to students. We've seen a large number of students self-referring and a lot of students being involved in this program. And so given this and all the success that we've seen so far and hope to see in the future, we're just hoping that with the budget, we can see this program continue in the future and hopefully expand to other schools within the district. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else for public comment tonight? Well, that is, we need to call them. Oh, okay. Okay, if you've already come up for this public comment, then you won't be called again. And we will start calling from our list of people who actually signed up to speak. So thank you all who came for public comment. You are heard. We are listening. We will do what we can and move forward. But we are very much in favor of looking after our students, number one, and our teachers and all of our staff, and providing them extra resources if we can. That is at the forefront for us right now. Okay, Mr. Richmond, can you read the preview to this?
Yes.
And then I'll turn it over to you.
All right. We will now hear public comments. Speakers will be called in the order in which they signed up. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. Yielding time to other speakers is not permitted. If a speaker has written materials they would like to share, please hand them to our board clerk, Franklin McCune, and he would distribute them to the board. The purpose of public comment is for the board to hear from members of the public, not to engage in back and forth discussions. Per our policy, board members will not respond to speakers during the public comment session. The board greatly values public feedback and welcomes all comments regardless of viewpoint. However, please be reminded that children are often present at these meetings and that our public comment policy prohibits profanity, vulgarity, and any personal abuse of any person. We ask that all comments be civil, respectful, and free of personal attacks. Any speaker who violates our public comment period or otherwise exceeds the bounds of order and decorum will be given a warning. Continued violations may result in the speaker being ruled out of order, at which point we will move on to the next speaker. The first speaker tonight for public comment is Joy Neems.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight on the very important topic to some of us here on the upcoming school construction project. My name is Joy Neems, and I'm a proud Pathways parent of a first grader and a rising kindergartner. I have grown up in the Orange County school system and have lived in Orange County for 47 years and believe in the education that these children receive here, and I know you will make the right decision. And I hope I can give you some strong reasons why option number 2 makes the most sense. I'm here tonight, can you hear me okay? Okay. I'm here tonight speaking on behalf of all Pathways parents and staff, the ones who are here with me tonight and the ones who are unable to be here this evening, who love our school and see option 2 as the only feasible choice given the current proposals. We believe strongly in this fact, and this is why. Option 2 causes the least disruption to families. It utilizes free land and addresses overcrowding at Eflin Cheeks Elementary. A new school in this area of the county will help manage the significant growth in the western part of Orange County while easing the burden on Eflin Cheeks. However, my primary concern is the loss of a public school in northern Orange County if Pathways students were to be relocated, especially for families who rely so much on Pathways. Pathways has been part of this community since 2000 and 2001, with the full opening in 2001-2002. Some Pathways students already have very long commutes from as far as almost Roxborough, and moving their home school across town would only increase travel time, negatively impacting their learning. Additionally, a K-8 school at Orange Middle would exacerbate traffic problems, creating unnecessary chaos for the neighborhood near the high school, Highway 70 and Orange High School Road, which already experience heavy traffic. But to address the core issue, overcrowding, consider redistributing students so no school is overpopulated. For example, River Park and Eflin Cheeks. The current imbalance exists due to district lines. And the practice of allowing students to attend schools outside of their assigned zones. Finally, another excellent option that should be discussed is to temporarily designate Hillsborough Elementary as a traditional public school and have those students attend their respective districted schools until additional facilities are built, ensuring the least disruption to all families within the Orange County school system. Ultimately, moving multiple schools around for a new school is most definitely not the best solution for anyone. So please, on behalf of the parents, our amazing teachers and staff, and most importantly, the students of Pathways Elementary. I ask you to please choose option 2 when deciding on how to proceed with the upcoming school construction project. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Heather Rosie, or Rosie, I'm sorry.
Good evening. My name is Heather Rosie. Thank you for letting me have the opportunity to speak tonight. I was coming here to talk about the proposed changes for Pathways Central and Orange Middle. I have a third grader and a kindergartner coming up to Pathways, and I want my children to be able to attend the homeschool, which serves the northern part of the county. So when I look at the 3 plans, option 2 seems like the plan that's going to be the best, that we're not going to move around as many children. Pathways Elementary serves the rural community of northern Orange County, and removing this homeschool option would negatively impact the families in this area. It seems that these proposals disproportionately affect our lower income Title I schools, such as Central and Pathways is now a Title I as well. Students at these schools already face considerable challenges and instability in their daily lives. Now we are uprooting multiple students for a choice school that may further disrupt their well-being. And no offense to Hillsborough Elementary, it's just a lot of Title I schools. So, as a 4th grade teacher, I'm also concerned about the potential increase in class sizes. Without class size restrictions in certain grades, combining schools that are already at 60% capacity could lead to overcrowded classrooms. This is a concern for all students, but particularly concerning for students in Title I schools, where additional resources are often needed. If schools are combined, will curriculum coaches be doubled for K2 and 3-5 to ensure adequate support for a larger student population? That's just one of the questions that was a concern to me. Whether it's combining Pathways in Central or Eflin in Central, I urge you to carefully consider all aspects of these proposals. The impact on students, families, and staff is significant, and I hope these changes are thoroughly thought out before a final decision is made. The one last thing I had was option 1 and 2. They're also not a centralized location. The students that come to Hillsborough Elementary are from all over. So we want Hillsborough Elementary to stay in that centralized location, whether if it's going to have to be at Central, so that they can come from all around for that choice school. So thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Matthew Newell.
Good evening. My name is Matthew Newell. I'm a parent of 4 in Orange County Schools. And it is with great concern that I come before you today to speak about the proposed changes to the state health plan by the plan's Board of Trustees under the direction of the state treasurer. At the board meeting on February 7th of this month, the treasurer announced that the state health plan has a projected shortfall of $500 million for 2026 and an additional projected $800 million deficit for 2027. Due to the substantial rise in the cost of healthcare nationwide. Additionally, according to the information presented, by multiple measures, North Carolina ranks toward the bottom of cost and affordability, surprising no one. A budget shortfall of this nature isn't entirely unprecedented in the plan's history, as rising healthcare costs are not a new phenomenon. In fact, our previous state treasurer was aware of this possibility and had asked the General Assembly to include coverage for the predicted deficit within the state budget. But the legislature has not done so thus far, and so the solution the treasurer is proposing, rather than asking the current General Assembly to act, is for the shortfalls to be charged to teachers and state employees instead. The details for this proposal came during the next Board of Trustees meeting on March the 7th of this year, and all the options given have the potential to cause substantial harm to North Carolina educators and their families, either by increasing premiums by $10 to $60 a month, eliminating the tobacco waiver that currently saves non-smokers $60 to $100 a month, privatizing retiree insurance by replacing the current zero premium PPO plan for a for-profit Medicare Advantage plan with worse coverage and fewer options. Deductibles could increase by up to $9,000. Copays could increase by $20 to $90 a visit as well. With an ever-worsening economy, cost of living increases that are either non-existent or come nowhere close to keeping up with inflation, and the cost of healthcare itself rising, to place this burden onto teachers and other state employees is cruel and entirely avoidable. The state had a revenue surplus in fiscal year 23-24 of $413 million, and just shy of $1 billion in surplus in fiscal year 24-25. The General Assembly has an obligation to our state workers to use these resources to fully fund the benefits that our teachers deserve and have earned, instead of diverting these funds to private school vouchers and tax cuts for the 1%. The good news is that there is still time to intervene. The Board of Trustees will not vote on a final decision until their board meeting in May, which gives us a month to voice our concerns to the board members directly, as well as to our representatives in the legislature, who ultimately have the power to fully fund the state health plan. The board has a joint email address that will go to each member, which is shpboard@nctreasurer.com, and I would encourage everyone in the OCS community to use it. This is ultimately not a partisan or political issue, but rather an economic issue, as all of our lives are made better by our educators, custodial staff, maintenance staff, lunchroom staff, administrative staff, and all who work for the state on behalf of our district's children and those all across North Carolina. We owe it to all of them and to all of you to stand up and speak up against this economic threat and to urge our representatives, senators, and state treasurers to do the right thing and fully fund the state health plan with the taxes we already pay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And our final speaker for tonight is Corey Sanders.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Corey Sanders of Mebane. I originally hadn't planned to speak tonight. My wife was going to, but she had to step out to take our kids home because, not a whole lot in the way of childcare available, and there's no virtual means to communicate with you guys real time. First, I want to thank you guys for recognizing Autism Acceptance Month at the start of this. As a parent of an autistic 5-year-old and as an autistic myself, I do appreciate that. I'm probably going to ramble because I, again, did not plan to speak tonight. But like several who have already spoken, I'm mostly here to comment about the bond proposals. I'm just going to ramble. I'm sorry. Short version, I don't understand how a lot of these options make sense for the kids. Someone already mentioned that only one of the options is being proposed. Option number 2 takes the current school that serves all areas of the county and doesn't move it to the complete north side of the county. For some of us, that adds 30 minutes to our commute to even get our kids to school in the morning and makes it impossible to make it to work on time, if that were to be the case. And that's to say the same for anyone who's currently at Pathways who would be moving down to Central. It's just not feasible if you've already built your life and your daily structure around making a certain commute, or your kids have gotten used to being in a certain area. Again, I mentioned my son's autistic. We are currently at HES because it's a year-round school. We were originally with Eflin Cheeks. We got moved out primarily because of overcrowding at Eflin Cheeks. That opened up HES for him, but that structure of being able to be in school with the smaller gaps, he needs that structure on the daily. We're coming off of a 3-week intersession, and getting him back in the swing is tumultuous at times. So if the schools do end up shuffling and we get moved back to Cheeks or moved out to Pathways or wherever, my son in particular is going to have a lot of trouble switching back over to a traditional calendar. And that's pretty much the only option we would have, because we wouldn't be able to get him out to the other side of the county from where we currently are. And I know that I'm not the only one who's in that situation where we've for better or worse, we've built our structure, our schedules, our ability to serve our kids around where the kids are and sorry, again, speaking. The upheaval in those commutes, the upheaval in changing up the schedules for these kids is not a small deal for any of these kids. And I just hope that as you guys are making your decision, you take that into account, how this can affect the children themselves, and not just the wallets, and not just which plan saves the most money in the long run, which from how things have been presented looks like the direction things are going. So Thank you guys for your time, and I, again, apologize for going over.
Thank you very much.
That concludes public comment.
Okay. All right, thank you to everyone who came to speak tonight. We appreciate your comments, and we will move on to board comments. Let's see, Ms. Hauser, would you like to start first?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thank you. First, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. And, you know, I think I'll speak for myself, but it makes a difference for us when we hear from you. And what every one of you had to say was important about our budget, about the mental health and social emotional support for our kids, about our facilities, which is an unprecedented investment that we are making, and it's going to be worth it to take the time to do it right. So I just want to thank you all for those comments. A little bit on Autism Awareness Month, just a comment. I just want to encourage people, if you haven't seen it, to please look out for an article that showed up in the New York Times by Holden Thorpe, former UNC Chancellor Holden Thorpe, who was diagnosed with autism at age 53. And he talks about how his neurodiversity contributes to his genius as a scientist. And it's just a beautiful article and just is worth a read. So it's in the New York Times in their opinion section. And so that. And then finally, I just wanted to talk, I'm going to spend just a minute to talk about hedgehogs. And a big congratulations to the hedgehogs, which now, by the way, includes both Cedar Ridge and Orange High School. That's our robotics team. And yesterday, the team qualified for the state championship. They came in sixth, but they qualified them for Worlds. But, you know, in the last couple of weeks, I got to visit their build room, and I watched some of their competition in Greensboro, and it's really impressive, and that's why I wanted to share a little bit. The team is 25 years old, one of the oldest, and it has about 30 students who design, program, and build robots, and they're using CAD, 3D printers, and other technology. These robots lift things, they position, they climb, and so much more. And the team raises money, they reach out to the community, and you notice really quickly when you're with these students that it's not just about the competition, it's about their character. And so in addition to their competition robot, the team also builds robots for special needs students. They've built a mobility robot to help students move, and they have a new one that they just built that they're really excited about. They showed me. This summer, they'll be working with the students at Eflin Cheek's Community Center doing STEM programming with a summer camp. And they even, in the competition, they adopted a novice team and helped this novice team get their robot put together, teamed up with the team, and together they won. And just a little data, because you know I always need data. 100% of the Hedgehog seniors will graduate and go on to university, community college, or trade school. And it really hit me when a grandparent whispered in my ear how robotics is why his grandson is graduating this year. Robotics is a place where everyone belongs and is valued. The team covers the travel costs for kids who can't afford it, and the process is discreet, which makes this wonderful opportunity available to every student. So I just have to congratulate the Hedgehogs and say you all are winners in every way possible. Thank you. I'm sorry, I couldn't help.
Okay. So congratulations, Hedgehogs, as well, for their, I'll give the abridged version. And it was exciting to see them play, and I've attended as well, and it is very exciting to see just how they are taught to help your competitors, even when it is to their disadvantage. And I think that's a wonderful trait that is taught with that. Also wanted to thank everybody that came out to speak tonight. These are very important topics. This is our community. This is how we learn and hear from each other. So thank you so much for coming out and sharing. Also just wanted to thank all of our assistant principals, as mentioned earlier. They're really our backbone and help everywhere. I see them all the time in all our events. long hours. Really appreciate all the hard work. Ms. Burns, thank you for acknowledging our autism awareness. And thank you to all our staff, our teachers, for not only your support of our students, but our families, and continuing to push the line to see how we include all of our students. I also just wanted to share, I was able to go to one of our IB multiple exhibits for the art. There's one that's going on right now at the Hillsborough Art Council. It was wonderful to hear from our young artists and how talented they are. So if you do have time, I would highly recommend stopping by and looking at it. Also, just wanted to mention, we have our Business Advisory Council meeting today. One of the things they shared is they will be bringing a recommendation to the full board coming up. One of the things they're doing a little different this year than they did last year is there's going to be two groups over the summer, one that's called Driving for Future, that will have an automotive focus, and another group, Building for the Future, which more is on the construction aspect. They're also ensuring this year that they give gas cards to students. It's about $55 a week to ensure that they can get to work and back. Also, they're going through multiple interview processes, and they shared that they're seeing about a 50% higher rate from students that have attended and gone through our programs over the summer. One other thing that was shared is that this week, lots going on, our woodworking team from Cedar Ridge will be competing in the States this Wednesday and Thursday. Thank you, Mr. Pipkin, for giving our students that opportunity, and definitely look forward to going out and seeing our students live. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Orange County Job Fair coming up this weekend, Saturday at Cedar Ridge from 8 a.m. to 10:30. And lastly, the FFA Spring Farmers Market at Orange High School from 8 to 12. These are plants that our students grow and they sell, and it helps put money back into the program to sustain it. So if you're looking for plants, also they do welding, art, and others, chairs, a lot of the programs from the FFA. Please take time to go out and check it out. Thank you.
Mr. Richmond?
Yes, ma'am. So I attended on March 19th, the second annual Gravelly Hill Middle School Student Showcase along with some other board members. And that was a showcase where students were able to show their projects, assignments, and data to show what they have achieved this year. So that was fun and exciting to be a part of.
Thank you. Ms. Dorr?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for everyone who came out. These are some really important topics, as was mentioned, and I really appreciate everyone speaking from their personal experience and sharing their perspective to better our community, for our students and teachers and families. I also wanted to give a shout out for some great things going on in our district. I also went and saw the hedgehogs in Greensboro this weekend, and they had an awesome robot. It was a coral reef themed game that was a little different from some of past years, and they did an awesome job throughout. And then they won the Autonomous Award because the first 30 seconds of each competition, no one is, the drive coach, no one's handling the robot. It's all pre-programmed. And so that was where they really excelled this year, which is awesome. And they have just been huge for students, including my kids, for years. It's just amazing. And thank you for all the detail you shared about how good Hedgehogs has been. And they have been, they've spanned the high schools for years, but, they tend to be more Orange High School heavy. So I hope to see more Cedar Ridge and Pathway and partnership kids joining. But also I wanted to give a shout out. So that's our FRC. Also, First Robotics, the First Tech Challenge has been growing and thriving in Orange County schools, which really broadens our STEM access to more students. And we've had some amazing leaders, teachers and former teachers, leading that work to serve more kids across grade levels. And some of our middle school kids are choosing to stay with First Tech Challenge at the high school level. So that is just, it's just the creativity and the positive thinking is just really awesome. And I also want to say many of us have been stressed and worried about attacks on public schools. Many of us were out at various gatherings expressing our concern and our support for public schools. So I had the opportunity to do that as well, and I just appreciate everyone who supports our public schools in the broad variety of ways that you do as parents and community members and people speaking out, and just teachers and staff. And so it's important because we want to do all we can to serve our Orange County Schools students and families.
Ms. Smalley? Great, thank you. Well, I was off the grid for spring break last week, so I think this may be my shortest public comment ever. And I just want to thank everyone for coming out and speaking and expressing so many important perspectives. And I hope our staff and our families had a restful spring break and are feeling energized for the end of the year.
Ms. Padilla?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight and sharing your perspective on where you stand with substance abuse and mental health, and sharing, also bringing awareness as to what's happening down in the Capitol with our health care. I was only able to attend one event because I've had a little too much going on for me this month, but I just wanted to say that I attended the F-Link Cheeks performance, and it was very moving to see and how hard they work so hard, and it was just fascinating to hear them sing. April is a month of multiple celebrations, including Autism Acceptance Month, National Minority Health Month, and Sexual Assault Awareness Prevention Month, and much more. But I'd like to share something with you that is very important. Mental health is a crucial aspect of our well-being, yet it is often overlooked or misunderstood. One of the most devastating issues related to mental health is the growing rate of suicide, particularly among young people. This is a word I struggle with, so bear with me. Many adolescents, especially those in school, face an overwhelming amount of pressure, whether from academic expectations, social dynamics, or bullying. Bullying, in particular, can have a profoundly destructive impact on persons' mental health. The cruel words and actions of peers can isolate, demoralize, and push individuals into a state of deep despair. Sadly, for some, this constant emotional pain can lead them to feel that suicide is their only escape. And while bullying in schools is widely recognized, another factor that exacerbates this mental health crisis is the increasing prevalence of anti-immigrant sentiment in many communities. Migrant children often find themselves caught in crossfire of xenophobia and racism, experiencing not just isolation, but also targeted hate. The emotional toll of feeling rejected by society, being stigmatized, or even being bullied because of one's background or experience can make them feel even more invisible. However, in the face of these challenges, there is hope. Communities coming together with an emphasis of empathy and support can be a powerful force in healing. By fostering understanding, inclusion, and respect for everyone, regardless of their background, we can begin to break down the barriers that contribute to the bullying and marginalization. Schools and local organizations must take a proactive role in creating safe spaces where individuals feel valued, heard, and supported. It is essential to cultivate an environment where conversations about mental health are open, stigma-free, and part of everyday dialogue. Community members, regardless of their differences, can be a source of strength, providing solidarity and lifting each other up when the weight of the world feels too heavy. Ultimately, the solution lies in coming together to protect and nurture the mental well-being of all individuals. We must challenge the status quo, stand against bullying and discrimination, and work tirelessly to create a society that celebrates diversity. By looking out for one another, being kind, and offering help when needed, we can pave the way for a more passionate world, one where no one feels alone, no matter their struggles. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Padilla. I would like to say a big shout out to the hedgehogs as well, but I would also like to include the parents with that, because I know that the hedgehogs don't get where they get without a lot of parent support as far as going to these competitions and helping with the building if they can. And I've just seen a lot of parent support with them, as well as Ms. Day and her team giving that support as well. But it is in some cases, it's a family affair, because it is it's trips to competition. So congratulations to everyone that's involved in that. Another shout out I'd like to say just to our assistant principals. We appreciate you. We know what you do, and we support you in all that you do, and thank you for everything that you do day to day to help our kids. I attended the third grade play at Pathways Elementary and learned all about dinosaurs and tacos, and it was very entertaining and thoroughly enjoyed. I also attended the student showcase of student work at Gravelly Hill Middle School, and it was wonderful to have the students explain to me what they had been doing, show me in their computer what they had been doing. Great use of digital learning that they had, and it forced them to have conversation with people they had no idea who they were. And so I was there, as well as Mr. Atherton, and Mr. Richmond was there, and of course our superintendent was there, and these kids were telling us exactly what they've been learning this year, what their goals in life were. A lot of them said they were planning on going to college, and they knew where they wanted to go. So, I mean, this was 8th graders I was talking to, so it was very impressive. I also attended the 5th grade chorus concert at Eflin Cheeks with Ms. Padilla there, and I had been to the 3rd grade one earlier in the year, and I can say that neither one of them disappoints. Those kids work very hard. They have a fantastic teacher who is their leader, and their parents were sitting there just as proud as they could be, cheering their students on, and it was wonderful to see. So it has been a busy month, part of March and this part of April, and we look forward to getting everybody back in the schools tomorrow. And I have an 8th grader that is not so excited to go back, grandson, and I have a kindergarten granddaughter who is very excited to go back. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day tomorrow back in school. And again, thank you to everyone who came to speak tonight and share your thoughts with us, because it is very important that we hear that, and lots of things that we need to consider with everything that we have going on in this district right now. So thank you very much for everyone coming out tonight. Dr. Jones, do you have comments?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Good evening, Chair Purcell, Vice Chair Richmond, members of the board, students, staff, and community members. As you heard this evening, during our recognitions, it is National Assistant Principals Week. And while we know that the responsibilities of an AP change from day to day, and we heard from Ms. Fournier's comments from last year that her job and every AP's job is to assist their principal. But I just want to add on a little bit to the list. I can vividly remember days as an assistant principal in a middle school and how much we run up and down hallways and sit in classrooms and talk to teachers and chase children sometimes in good ways, and sometimes, you know, we have to help them redirect some of that energy. But our assistant principals do a wonderful job here. They attend administrative meetings, they create schedules. Any kind of schedule you can think of, they will create it. They address behavioral issues, they provide instructional support for our teachers, they conduct classroom observations, they hire staff, communicating with parents and families, ensure everyone is following our safety protocols, they coordinate and attend special events before, during, and after school. They collect and analyze student data, provide insight on how the team should respond. They organize and facilitate professional development. They manage emergencies, transportations, upset parents. And on top of that, they work really hard to build meaningful relationships with students, with their families, and within the community. And if they do a great job, we invite them back to do it all over again the next day. And so all of that just to say thank you to our assistant principals. Please, if you run into one at a school, you see them at an event, please thank them. Most times they're going to be exhausted, but they're still going to have a smile on their face because that's just what we do. We don't do this because we love chasing the babies. We do it because we know that we make a difference. And that's a very hard job. I remember it. I would love to say that it gets easier as you move up, but it doesn't. But I know as an assistant principal in a middle school, I thought, I have to be the hardest working person in the world. And I see Ms. Purcell shaking her head until you become a principal and then you keep moving on. But again, I really appreciate our assistant principals and all the work that they do. I also want to send a shout out and congratulate our very own Dr. Sheldon Lanier. He's probably shocked right now, but he is our Chief of Equity and Student Achievement. He was one of 39 district leaders from across the state to graduate from the 9th cohort of the North Carolina School Superintendents Association Aspiring Superintendents Program in March. This program provides high quality professional development to select district leaders who demonstrate exceptional leadership in their current position and aspire to be a superintendent. Currently, there are 52 alumni from this program that have been appointed to superintendencies. I am one of them. So I know firsthand how intentional and rewarding this program can be. I know how difficult it is as well, the time constraints there, and the pressures that Jack Hope put on all of us. Love him. It is a pleasure and an honor to have Dr. Lanier as a member of my team and our team here in Orange County Schools. Just want to congratulate him again for all of his hard work. Congratulations on completing that program and graduating. And I know you have plans, but not too soon. But congratulations, Dr. Lanier. And that concludes my comments.
Now, you know, Dr. Lanier, that when we congratulate students like this, they have to come up and shake our hands and get your picture made with us, so we'll be expecting that before we leave today. Congratulations. Okay. I need a motion to approve our consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye, okay, that is approved. And now we move into our action item for discussion and action, where we are to approve or talk about more, if we need to, our operating budget approval for this year. Ms. Rath is coming to join us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so now we're at the step in the process where we need your approval for this budget to be submitted to the Board of County Commissioners for a request for funding for the fiscal year 25-26. Again, that is a continuation budget increase of $1.8 million to fund anticipated legislative salary increases as well as benefit increases. And then the expansion item request of certified teacher supplement increase, classified supplement increase for that lowest band, as well as the bus driver hourly pay increase. Any questions or comments?
Ms. Smiley?
And we've talked about this proposal before, so I don't have very many questions, but I did think of two. One is, do we have any sense of the potential impact of tariffs on the price of like purchased goods and things? Like when I know we purchase food and fuel, and we purchase a lot of different things. Are many of those things, are we sort of protected in the short term by having like long-term contracts for those things? Or are those prices that can be sort of more volatile in the near term because we're ongoing purchasing materials?
That's a great question. I'm not prepared to answer it in great detail. I apologize for that.
Good evening. Great question. The short answer is yes. We will be impacted from materials we buy from our maintenance department. If fuel was to go up, I mean, those rates fluctuate at the state level, but they still have to make a profit. So given any uncertainties, we'll have to adjust with the market changes.
Okay, so none of those are on sort of a longer-term contract with the state or anything where
No,
we're
so
shielded
a
from
part of the budget is operations, and so we assume that wood and parts and materials will be at a price.
Mhm.
However, as this economy adjusts,
Yeah.
we'll have to do less with the money that we have if that happens that way.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that we built into our request the inflation factor, and then this is just a whole another thing we may have to deal with. Okay, thank you very much. I have one more question.
Sarah, can I just jump on that for a
Yeah.
second? Because the question that it begs is, with tariffs in places, do we need to put in additional funds in our continuation budget to cover the costs of materials, right? That's
Yeah, I
really
mean,
the
it's-
essence of the question.
It seems impossible to know whether all of that will still exist next year and to what extent, so, I mean, we could ask for
a
more.
reference for it, something,
So I have some experience with uncertainties. COVID was a time of uncertainty, and so there are some ways to buy in bulk, or there's some type of legal contract, Neil may be able to help, where you can tell subcontractors that, up to a certain amount of inflation, we will support. But so there are ways to navigate uncertain times. If that answers, I think.
Well, I was just wondering if we should, in the past, when we've and Rhonda's already done it, or Ms. Reth's already put in an inflation factor in the budget, and do we put in a risk factor for tariffs in the budget, in the continuation budget, not the expansion budget? And I think the commissioners would understand that. I just don't know what to.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a good question. I think the difficulty is it's hard to predict what that number would need to be. So we go off of the 3% because that's what we're hearing from the state level, and we want to be coordinated with other districts in doing that 3%. inflation is a set number that we account for every year. So I don't quite know where I would put a number for tariffs. I think if that becomes something long-term, then that possibly could be something we work in the future. But it's just really hard right now with it being so uncertain.
And if it ends up being a huge factor, presumably we have fund balance and things to sort of tide us over for a year if we needed to, but there's just a lot of uncertainty around it. I just wasn't sure how much of I thought some of our purchases were for like longer term contracts. That might be more in the food department and stuff, those contracts. Okay. My other question, okay, so it was related to like the ADAPT pilot and the idea of doing more for like mental health support and that kind of thing. And, you know, obviously there isn't anything specific in this budget request to that this year. There have been in some past years, and we made some difficult, you know, choices about where to focus and prioritize. But things sort of at the scale of like school level pilots or, you know, potential expansion, things like that. Are those the kinds of things, are there avenues for programs at the school level to sort of pursue, you know, funding through like school level budgets? Or, you know, let's say we had a program in one school that was pretty successful and we did want to expand it to others. Like, what's the sort of pathway outside of this budget request? Like, what's the pathway to getting things like that funded?
So we have a certain set of funds that can be utilized, so like our state at-risk funds. And so if there's programs that are working well, like we see a lot of schools use that funding for tutoring after school, especially around this time of year, then certainly other schools can duplicate that. Then I don't know about where the halfway mark is. It would just depend on what we've set aside as far as the central office budget to support all schools and what we are able to carve out. But I don't think there's any type of program that a school can't start up using their 069 funds if it is a successful program and they can benefit the majority of students that those funds are dedicated for. So there are different funding sources where schools can take advantage of.
Ms. Hauser? Yeah, you know, there's other things that I'd love to add on to this budget, but you've done a really wonderful job. And with the board, I think, has done a really wonderful job putting together a budget that stands on its own. And so I just want to thank you for that, and I'm willing to move to approve it.
Second?
Well, were there any other comments?
Yeah, I would like to.
Oh, okay.
I mean, well, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say thank you again for all of y'all's hard work and definitely the data to help everybody understand why this is really important, especially right now. I just wanted to add that I think we can have discussions about the mental health outside of a request to the county commissioners, you know, just like the field trips and things like that. I think those are things we don't necessarily have to ask for, but I want to make sure that people hear that just because we don't have it on a line item doesn't mean we can't consider it or look at other options of funding. The one question I had is when we're looking at the federal funds that we have for next year, approximately how much is our federal funds today?
So today, it's approximately 6.6 million.
6.6 million? All right. Obviously why I'm asking it. Thank you.
Ms. Dole?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rath. I wanted to also just express, and we did talk about it previous meetings, I really appreciate the priorities on bus drivers and raising lowest paid tier classified employees, as well as teacher supplements and making those more competitive. So I appreciate the focus, and also was thinking about the ADAPT type program and how that would fall under student services monies. And I also was wondering, some years we've had, I'm trying to remember where we were last year, if this was 2 years ago, where we had basically like grant monies that schools could apply for. I don't remember if we still have that. We don't have that built into our budget. Okay, so it would have to be under a department, like student services, for example. It wouldn't be just an open.
Yes, either that or we'd have to take a current budget that we have and turn it into that. So like we have district level at-risk funds that we utilize in different ways and support schools in some of their initiatives. So that's a possibility as well. The thing to remember is all of that money was budgeted for this year. And so if we do redirect that, it's taken away from something else. It's not always a bad thing, right? We always want to look for what we're getting the most return on and as far as student success. So those things we're kind of looking at some of our data to see where it needs to be shifted, and we're also doing some work with our student support services as well. But just to piggyback on what Mr. Atherton said, there's a number of possibilities, right, where we can support schools and we can create some improved programming for our students to ensure that they're in school and successful and supported. This year has been about assessing where we are, and we've been kind of piecing some things together to provide support. And so as we go into the next school year, some things will start to come together a little bit more. It's just almost impossible to focus on everything all at one time. But as we see some of those needs, and there's some of the programmings that really don't cost anything. It's just a matter of the time and the adult sponsor. And we've already been in some conversation about the ADAPT program expanding a little bit. Because you specifically mentioned that one.
Thank you. Thank you. And lastly, the tariffs were mentioned in the staff, like technology refresh, but just as a reference, right? Like that contract isn't closed quickly enough to avoid changes in price due to tariffs. Sorry to take that off topic for a second, but there was.
So since we have the ability to purchase that off state contract, the price is set.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay, thank you, Ms. Rath, for all of your hard work. And the focus that we're on this year is wonderful. All right, we have a motion to approve. We have a second. So do I have, can we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, budget is passed. All right, Mr. Coweek, an update on our strategic plan, priority 3, that we talked about a month ago, I think.
Yes,
Several weeks ago.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. As you will recall, we brought on the March 10th meeting some recommended changes to the 2021 to 2026 strategic plan. I'm going to not repeat the slides that we did in March 10th, but I am going to move us to where I compare the current goals. Oops, there we go. Which you can see on the left part of your screen, the current goals in the existing plan. When we spoke on March 10th, I brought forth 3 goals, goal 1, 2, and 3. The board requested an additional goal, and so the goal that we have here listed up for approval reads to maintain a commitment to supporting and hiring, and we would like to make an addendum to what's here. So it would actually read, maintain commitment to supporting and hiring a qualified and diverse staff that demonstrate a range of skills and qualities that support student success. The only other addition to that you have not already seen is we do have some strategies for this goal 4 about that you can read here about utilizing fair and consistent practices, creating and maintaining partnerships, encouraging a culture that values continuous learning and development, and so forth. So moving forward, we are asking for the board to make an approval to these recommended goal amendments, which would be in force until June 2026. And again, in Goal 4, there is an addition to supporting and hiring a qualified and diverse staff that demonstrate a range of skills. So happy to take any questions.
Anyone have questions? All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
To approve.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you very much for your work on this, Mr. Cowick. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. All right, does anyone have anything else tonight?
It's the picture with Dr. Lanier.
Oh, the picture with Dr. Lanier, we can't forget that. Thank you, Ms. Doyle, for remembering that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.